Since 2017, I've been helping thousands of people on their health and fitness journey through our online coaching program at Heartletics. But before that, since 2014, I've been actually helping people in person as a personal trainer working in a gym when I first got certified way back in the day. And the reason why I'm telling you that is because I have been in the health and fitness industry for so long. And I've seen so many different individuals, so many types of people, body types, lifestyles, the whole nine yards, right? And here's the biggest thing that you need to understand, especially from today's video. There are 5 core factors on what makes people unsuccessful at reaching their health and fitness goals. I like to say these are the 5 biggest mistakes that people make over and over and over again, and yet they wonder why they're not successful at reaching their health and fitness goals. So all you need to do is pay close attention and focus on what is the opposite thing that you need to do, so that way, guess what? You can be successful at reaching your own health and fitness goals. And let me just say this before we dive in. It does not matter if you're advanced, intermediate, or beginning off on your health and fitness journey. These 5 core mistakes is always going to be a friendly reminder to no matter where you're at currently right now on your own health and fitness journey. The first one is focusing on intensity rather than consistency. Now you may be thinking to yourself, but Joe, don't I want to focus on going hard in the paint, slaying the weights, getting all these PRs? Obviously, yes. But if you're lacking the consistency first, you're going to be biting off way too much that you can chew. I mean, if you think about it, you probably see this over and over again, especially in the beginning of the year for the New Year's. You know, you're going to get these guys that's showing up to the gym, trying their best to work out every single day, and they haven't worked out in months, maybe not even years, but yet they'll sign up for this gym membership and show up every single day, thinking to themselves like, oh man, you know, the first couple weeks in the new year, I'm going to get in the best shape of my life. But once again, they forgot on the simple aspect, the foundation of consistency first. And that's why typically over 85% of people out there fail when it comes to reaching their health and fitness goals during the New Year's. And typically they fail by February and even early March. Listen, I don't want you to be a failure at all on your health and fitness journey. And that's why you need to master consistency rather than intensity. The second biggest mistake is guys are way too obsessed with their workout routine rather than focusing on simple habits. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, Joe, this doesn't make any sense at all, but hear me out. You need to understand the Coach Joe methodology with this one, okay? I know a lot of guys that are obsessed with their workout routine. So obsessed with it that one, they never make any modifications or changes to it. And if you think about it, right, like you might be thinking, yeah, but Joe, they're consistent with it, right? They're constantly doing the same workouts. Listen, my friends, that is not necessarily a good thing. Albert Einstein even said it best. The definition of insanity is doing the same things over and over again and expecting different results. So you need to be learning when and how to make adjustments. Like for our members, typically every 4 to 6 weeks, we're changing up the exercises, we're changing up the muscle groups, we're changing up the sets, the reps, like everything like that, where it's a whole different workout split. So that way it's an easier time to focus in on that muscle confusion and also progressive overload. Now, putting that aside, let's just say you're somebody that is like myself. You travel often. And sometimes when you're traveling, you don't have access to the gym. So it's like, it's very easy to get into this headspace of, oh, I'm out of my routine for my workout routine. So, hey, I can go ahead and just not work out today or not exercise today or go ahead and just eat like crap today because, hey, I'm not working out anyway. So next thing you know, the nutrition starts to slip aside as well. And who knows, maybe that's happened to you plenty of times. And a simple solution to this is not being focused so much on the training routine and the workout routine, but instead focusing on the habits. I'm a big fan of habits, right? Maybe your habits are, hey, you're focusing on strength training at least 3 times a week. Maybe your habits is like 10,000 steps a day. Maybe it's a push-up goal that you can do. Maybe it's a sit-up goal that you can do. But habits, it makes it so much easier to, once again, what we talked about in the first part, staying consistent on your health and fitness journey. Because if, let's say also, hey, you happen to get an injury, right? You can't stick to that workout routine that you're so obsessed with. But guess what? You can always make modifications to your habits and maybe just get more steps in or focus a little bit more on the nutrition aspect. These things really help you out in the long run, especially when it comes to being successful on your health and fitness journey. The third biggest mistake that guys make all the time is focusing on a diet rather than the right macros for their body type. And I'm going to explain macros here in a little bit. But let's talk about dieting first. You guys should already know by now it's not successful long term. It's just not sustainable. I mean, half the time you're cutting out your favorite foods. They're also not educating you on what works best for your body type. So you're almost left in a worse place than when you first got started. I know plenty of guys that, they cut out their carbohydrates thinking that, oh, the number on the scale is going down, so I'm losing weight. Yeah, you definitely are. But remember, weight loss and fat loss are two separate things, right? You're losing water weight. You're not actually losing body fat. I know plenty of guys that do intermittent fasting, right? And they're eating like 500 calories, 800 calories. And once again, they're losing weight. But weight loss and fat loss are two separate things. That weight loss, when you're not eating enough of the right foods, could be a loss of muscle. And the next thing you know, you're going to be slowing down your metabolic rates. Not good. And this is why I'm not a fan of dieting, because it's not sustainable. And plus, it once again makes guys worse off than when they first got started. So what is something that is going to work for you long term? What is something that is sustainable? It's simply understanding the right macros for your body type. And please, by all means, right, don't think you need to be a rocket scientist to understand this information out. It's really not that hard. Okay, for starters, macros. What does that even mean, right? Macros is short for macronutrients. Your proteins, your carbs, your fats. Okay, 1 gram of protein is equal to 4 calories. 1 gram of fat is equal to 9 calories. 1 gram of carbohydrates is equal to 4 calories also. And alcohol, if we want to throw that in there, a hidden macronutrient, 1 gram of alcohol is equal to 7 calories. So now if you ever look on the back of a nutritional label, let's say going to the grocery store, you see all these grams and all these numbers, and at the very top it's called calories with the sum total. Well, guess what? You need to be in a calorie deficit if you want to lose body fat. Now, keep this in mind. When it comes down to the macronutrients for your body type, you can make this very simple for yourself, okay? Focus on being within a calorie deficit. As mentioned, if your goal is to lose body fat, have at least 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So if you weigh 220 pounds, try your best to have at least 220 grams of protein. I promise you, whether you're getting that through whole foods or supplements, you're not going to hurt your kidneys by any means. Like, you'll be perfectly fine, right? Stop thinking to yourself, oh, too much protein is not good for you. Listen, if you want to look good with your shirt off, if you want to have more confidence, if you want to lose more body fat, build more lean muscle tissue, be healthier overall, just take my advice. I've coached thousands of people and I give them the same advice over and over again because it simply works. Now, in terms of your carbohydrates and your fats, don't worry about them, right? I definitely don't. You see me wearing a shirt that says donut mess with Joe. I love donuts, plain and simple, okay? So when you get to learn about the macronutrients that work best for your body type, you can also apply what's called the 80-20 rule, aka flexible dieting, where you're learning how to actually fit in your favorite foods and still lose body fat. They don't teach you this when they give you a cookie cutter meal plan where you have to cut out all processed foods, all alcohol, all sugars, all carbohydrates, and you're eating next to like air and salad all day, which is not fun. It's not sustainable. So once again, don't make the mistake of focusing on a diet because all you're going to be doing is hurting yourself in the long run. If you want to learn how to reach your goals and maintain that success long term, it's best to understand, hey, what is the best macros for your body type? And then also learning when and how to make small little adjustments and tweaks. That way, once again, hey, you're not constantly seeing the same results over and over again. You can get out of any kind of plateau or any kind of stall if you ever hit a little bump in the road. Side note, I have never once heard somebody say, oh, I failed when it came to tracking my macros. But you know what I hear all the time? I failed at doing keto. I failed at doing paleo. I failed at doing Weight Watchers. I failed at doing Noom. I failed at doing carnivore. I failed at doing intermittent fasting. Let that sink in. Now, the fourth biggest mistake, and this goes for everybody out there, is focusing so much on the number on the scale or any form of a metric that is a data point, whether that's your body fat percentage, whether that's the number on the scale, whatever your lean muscle tissue is, who cares, right? These data points are nothing more than just variables. And you got to understand this, especially if you're somebody that's on your fat loss journey. Fat loss is not linear, right? There's going to be different trends. Sometimes you could be doing all the right things underneath the sun, right? The right macros, the right workouts, the right training, everything. But guess what? Often you might gain some weight, or you might hit a little stall, or you might lose some weight. And regardless of what happens on the outcome, you should be okay with it. You should understand that, hey, this is a long game. This is a marathon, not a sprint. You're in it to be looking and feeling your best. You're in it to be making sure that you're making these small little investments in yourself each and every day so you can live a longer, healthier, more positive, more healthier life. That's what it's all about, guys. Plain and simple. Now, if you focus on the number on the scale, and let's say you're only focusing on that, you don't understand any trends, you don't understand the difference between weight loss and losing body fat, you don't understand water weight, right, and retention. If let's say you're having high sodium or you're drinking alcohol, you're going to be so emotionally obsessed and it's going to be a horrible roller coaster ride for you. I just want to be upfront and warn you about that, right? You are going to have the hardest time on your health and fitness journey, and yet you're going to see all these guys surpassing you, looking good, feeling good. And guess what? The small little shift, it could be the simple fact like they don't care about the number on the scale, but you do. And because you're obsessed with it, you're going to be pouring all these emotions into a random number that doesn't even matter. The only time that that number matters, or anytime somebody's going to ask you what that number is if you're going to the doctors, once a year, if that. That's it. Plain and simple. Like, stop focusing on the number on the scale. Instead, focus on what truly matters, which is how do you look and how do you feel? You know, for starters, guys, muscle weighs more than fat. You already know that. You don't need to be a rocket scientist to even understand that. But yet, if you're eating more protein, right, having a faster metabolism, you're lifting more weights, focusing on strength training, and you happen to see that, oh man, this first week, like you went up a pound, why is it that you get upset because you gained a pound? But you could have just put on a pound of muscle. Like, doesn't that ring a bell? Remember that whole thing, right? Muscle weighs more than fat. So it's like, let that sink in, guys. Like, we got to understand these things, especially when it comes to tracking our progress. I'm not saying don't track your progress. No, I'm just saying don't be obsessed with the number on the scale, because it's the worst variable that you can go after when it comes to progression. The best is how you look and how you feel. Take your shirt off. How do you look in that birthday suit? Plain and simple. Like, are you feeling more confident? Are you looking the way that you want? Like, are you seeing the progress happen? Are other people seeing changes happen to you as well? These are all great signs that you're on the right track, that you're on progression. You know, and then how do you feel also? Do you have more energy? Do you feel like you're getting stronger in the gym, like you're getting stronger and you're getting these PRs? Like, are you lifting heavier weights? These are, once again, the variables that matter the most, not the stupid number on the scale. And the fifth and final biggest mistake, and this is kind of like a compilation of all of them that I just kind of mentioned, which is being obsessed with your goals and really just trying to rush the process rather than trusting the process, and instead just trying to be better than who you were yesterday. So hear me out, right? Just like how I talked about earlier with, being way too intense with the gym and not focusing on consistency, right? Remember, hey, you're trying to rush the process and not trust the process. You're trying to make some shortcuts here and trying to reach your goals, right, in the first week or two, but often forget that, hey, nobody got fat in a week or two, but yet we're trying to lose all that body fat in a week or two. Doesn't work that way. I then talked about, hey, you should be focusing on better habits rather than a training routine that you're obsessed with. And then I mentioned about how macros are way more beneficial for you in the long run rather than just dieting. And then we just talked about the number on the scale. So this last one is just a compilation of all of them put together, which is, hey, don't be obsessed with your goals. Whether your goals is to look good with your shirt off, whether it is to lose 20 pounds, whether it is to get off your blood pressure or cholesterol medications, like, that's great. I'm not saying don't have goals, no, but I'm saying don't be obsessed with them. Because anytime you're obsessed with anything in life, you're putting it on a pedestal. And when you put it on a pedestal, it's going to collapse, it's going to fall. And you're going to fail when it comes to reaching your goals. So instead of trying to rush the process and be obsessed with our goals and I like to say this needy vibration, like how I was back in the day. I remember my very first girlfriend. I chased her, trying to get her number, trying to take her on dates. She wanted nothing to do with me at all. She pushed me away for 2 years. But sure enough, when I stopped chasing her, she came running to me. Funny how that works, right? Oftentimes, right, the things that we want the most and we're obsessed with, it almost seems like it's constantly getting farther and farther away from us because we're coming off this needy, we come off this, oh, I desire this so much and I'm obsessed with it. It's not a good vibration to be in, plain and simple. So instead, what is the right mindset for you to have a long-term success at reaching your goals? It's to focus on being better than who you were yesterday. And the simple reason is because if If let's say your goals are all the way over here, whether it's getting off your medications, losing body fat, having six-pack abs, whatever the case may be, right? These goals, they might take some time. They might take months, they might take years. And on that journey, who knows? You might deal with what we like to say unfortunate events, which happens to everybody, plain and simple. You can't avoid them. This might be injuries. This might be sicknesses. This might be travels. This might be just things that take you off course of your routine. But guess what? Right? These little bumps in the road can really, hurt somebody mentally, because now it's like, oh, this is going to take me double the length to get off my medications, or a longer time to get six-pack abs. But what's going to give them more peace of mind? Focusing on just like, okay, hey, this happened to me. It's an injury. Hey, maybe it's a blessing in disguise. I just can't see it right now, but I got to be optimistic. Got to have some faith. But who knows, right? What could always help somebody just have peace is, how do I just be better than yesterday? That's it. Maybe it's getting more steps in. Maybe it's focusing more on the nutrition. Maybe it's focusing on more, mindfulness and meditation or something, right? It's way easier to go through this journey of life on your health and fitness progress and just focusing on being better than who you were yesterday, rather than trying to take these shortcuts here and there, be obsessed with the number on the scale, have your goals up on a pedestal, and then hope and pray that, oh, you're going to have the easiest time in the world and it's going to be all sunshines and roses. Doesn't work that way. And if you're somebody right now that's watching this, remember, right, this video is for everybody. Whether you're advanced, intermediate, or just beginning on your health and fitness journey, you understand that this is all part of the process. And odds are you probably dealt through some adversity yourself. But consistency, right, this is what's going to matter the most when it comes to helping you just put one foot in front of the other and just focus on that mentality of being 1% better each and every day. Now, I do want to say this before I wrap things up. There is one secret sauce that reigns supreme when it comes to reaching your health and fitness goals, and most importantly, staying on track with reaching your health and fitness goals, and that's community. You got to make sure that you're surrounding yourself with the right group of individuals that's there to support you, challenge you, hold you accountable to staying on track with your goals. When you're surrounding yourself with those types of people, I promise you this, the journey is going to be way easier for you and you're going to enjoy it a lot more. So I really hope that you guys got a lot of value from today's episode. If you did, definitely give this video a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below letting me know your biggest takeaway as well. And oh yeah, real quick before we end things, if let's say you are somebody that maybe you don't have a community, maybe you don't have anybody in your corner holding you accountable, or maybe you're just looking for a plan to follow that's more personalized for your body type, your lifestyle to help you reach your health and fitness goals, once and for all, we have a completely free training guide. If you're watching this on YouTube, it is the first link in the description box down below. Go ahead, check that out, download it, learn a little bit more about how our coaching program can help you get in the best shape of your life, not just physically, but also mentally as well. And oh yeah, do me one quick favor. If you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, I would greatly appreciate that if you did. As always, guys, this has been Coach Joe with Heartletics.com, and I'll talk to you in the next episode. Peace out, Girl Scouts.